Here we go. So one more time, letting the weight of yourself be fully in your mat and fully in your body, and breathe. I invite you one more time to find yourself between two welcomes. So there is the welcome of the ground, the earth for you, as you give the weight of your body to the earth. The earth will hold and support you. There is the welcome of the earth for you. And there is also the welcome of your body for the breath. And the most easeful breath you can manage in this moment, whatever that is enough. But that breath is a gift. With each breath in, you invite in from every living thing on the planet. Every living thing on the planet breathes out and you breathe in. So there's the welcome of the earth for you and the welcome of your body for the breath. And I invite you just to give thanks for whatever wisdom this practice will bring you tonight, whatever it is. For this last practice tonight, you're going to rotate on the sensory route around the body. So I'm going to invite you just to feel as deeply as you can each part of the body in turn, starting with the mouth, so that you can feel the tongue in the mouth. You can feel the teeth. You can feel the roof of the mouth and the walls of the mouth and the floor of the mouth underneath your tongue. You can feel your lips either together or gently parted. And on the upper lip, you can feel the breath coming in and out of the body, the cool air entering the body and the slightly warmer air leaving it. You can feel that breath coming in and out of the nostrils and all the way up to the bridge of the nose and out, so that you can feel not just the nostrils but the full bridge of the nose now. And either side of the nose you can feel the cheeks. And on the cheeks you can feel the eyelashes and the eyelids and the eyebrows and the eyes deep in their sockets. You can feel inside the head as well. And above the eyebrows, between the eyebrows, you can feel that space, that third eye, eyebrow center. And above it, the full sweep of the forehead and the temples. You can feel the ears, both the outer architecture, the shell of the ears, and the inner workings, the inner ears, and the sinuses, all those warm internal places in the head. And feeling also the hairline. And each hair on the head, the full sweep of the hair, all the way from the hairline, all the way down to the nape of the neck. And then the throat and the breath coming in and out of the throat. And as the throat moves with the breath, so too the collarbones gently rise and fall with the breath. You can feel the shoulder blades behind you, the shoulder blades and the collarbones gently opening and closing with the breath, ever so lightly. And feeling too the warmth of the armpits. And the stretch of the arms all the way down to the elbows, the inner elbows and the outer elbows, and then all the way down to the wrists. Feeling the palms of the hands and the backs of the hands. Feeling the fingers and the thumbs and the spaces between them, or their places where they meet. Until you are one field of sensation from the tips of the fingers and thumbs all the way up to the crown of the head. And still the breath rising and falling, coming in and out of the throat, and the rising and falling of the collarbones, and the rising and falling of the chest, and the movement of the lungs. And beneath the lungs, the rising and falling of the diaphragm, and on the diaphragm just off to the left, the heart rising and falling. And below the diaphragm, the soft organs of the body. You may well not be able to identify it, but that gentle movement of the breath, moving the soft organs of the body, stomach and liver and kidneys and intestines, sliding around together as you breathe. And beneath that, the spine, the full length of the spine, all the way from the back of the neck all the way down to the tip of the tailbone, and the skin of the back and the skin of the belly, and the pelvis and the private areas of the body, and the buttocks. And then stretching that sensation again now down the legs, down the thighs, the inner and outer thighs, the tops of the knees and the backs of the knees, calves and shins, and the tops of the feet and the soles of the feet. Seeing if you can identify each and every toe in turn. And all together now, one field of sensation from the tips of the toes all the way up to the crown of the head. From the tips of the toes and the tips of the fingers all the way up to the crown of the head. The whole body is one radiant, present, vibrant field of sensation. And imagining the whole body now as a heaviness, feeling a heavy feeling in the whole body, as if the whole body was gently softening into the floor itself. There's a weight there. And now feeling a lightness, imagining the body as light and buoyant, as if it were about to gently float away from the ground. And seeing if you can move between those 2 points, between those 2 places, feeling heavy and then light. Heavy and then light. Heavy and then light. Can you find a place in the middle, a place where you are both heavy and light at the same time? Let that go now. And I invite you to imagine that your right hand is dipping into a cool, flowing stream of water. And imagine now that your left hand is dipping into warm sand, warm, dry sand. Feeling cool water in your right hand, warm sand in your left. Can you swap them? And releasing that, I'm calling to mind now the last time that you felt very strong. Just recreating that as best you can, feeling kind of powerful, strong, able to act in the world. And now calling to mind an experience of feeling weaker, of feeling almost a little helpless. And as ever, there's no need to go too deeply into this, to the circumstances of this. Just re-experiencing it, feeling it. How does it feel in the body? How do you embody that experience? Can you move between these two sensations, these two experiences? A place of feeling strong and powerful, and a place of feeling a little weak, a little helpless. Moving backwards and forwards. Backwards and forwards. Backwards and forwards. Can you feel both at the same time? And then let that go too. And bring the focus of your attention, the focus of your full awareness to the space in the center of the eyebrows now, the Chid Akash, the space of dreams. Imagine for me that between your fingers you hold a golden thread. And relax and just let the image arise. Don't worry too much about the meaning or the detail, just see it as clearly as you can and know that if you get a little confused, a little lost, the golden thread will bring you back. Will bring you back on track. And now, as clearly as you can, for just a moment each, can you see the following things before me, please? Damp earth. Damp earth. A warm fire. Warm fire. A pink lotus flower. A pink lotus flower. A candle flame. A candle flame. A weeping willow tree. A tall palm tree. Flowers in the summertime. Torrential rain. snowy mountains. Imagine as fully as you can peeling a fruit. And the sound of a bell, like a temple bell ringing in the distance. Imagine a smiling Buddha, a shaven-headed monk, a Greek temple at sunrise, a cross above a church, an Egyptian pyramid, birds flying across the sunset, the stars at night, a full moon, red clouds drifting, the rising sun, and the setting sun. Imagine walking through a forest now as the sun is setting. And walking along this winding path, and you can hear the birds and the animals settling for the night. You turn a corner and find a small temple or maybe just a simple shelter. And I invite you to enter. And as you enter this space, you can see by the dim light of candles burning a figure seated. And I invite you to take a seat by their side. And as you do so, just sit there, breathe, and focus on your own heart center. And as you sit in this simple shelter, this small temple, in quiet companionship with the person beside you, is there wisdom to be heard here? Is there wisdom to be heard here? Is there wisdom to be heard here? And there's no rush. But when you're ready, thank your companion. And prepare to return. leaving behind the shelter or the temple. Leaving behind the forest and the sunset. Coming back to the flow of breath in and out of the body. Coming back to your awareness of the space you occupy on the mat and in this room and the weight of your body. Coming back to an awareness of the feeling of clothes and blankets. And inviting your breath to begin to deepen. When you're ready, beginning to stretch into your fingers and into your toes. Making those movements a little bigger and a little fuller. If you'd like to stretch long and full through the body, now is a good time to do that. And once more, maybe rubbing the face or the ears a little bit. Maybe touching your thumbs and fingers together. Maybe yawning and sighing. Bring your knees into the body when you're ready and give yourself a really big hug. Have a squeeze, and if it's comfortable to do so, you can bring your head up towards your knees. Have a little bit of a rock and a roll around a little. And there's no rush, and in your own time, bringing yourself back up to a sitting position and scooting on over.